Damon here with NLP Gym. Are you better off than you were 8 years ago? This is a common question during major political seasons like the one we have now, where politicians start asking that question, especially politicians who are running against an incumbent, or there's sort of the idea of the old regime, and are you better off now? And this was inspired by a political discussion I had with my parents. I'll keep the politics out of it though. Think about your own life and whether or not you're better off now than you were 8 years ago. And you can even break this down to different aspects of your life, which some might be better and some might be worse. I think what a lot of people find is that their life seems to be about the same. And to me, that's not good. It's definitely better than being worse off than you were 8 years ago. And you might have lost a job, you might have had a serious illness, you might have had a lot of things happen. But your attitude is something that you have control over all the time. And your state of being is something you have control over all the time. Outside circumstances don't necessarily dictate how good you feel or how happy you are. And I take a lot of inspiration from Viktor Frankl, who found happiness in a concentration camp because he decided that the Nazis had taken everything away from him, including his family, but they were not going to take away his happiness. That was something he had control over. I find that really, really inspiring, and I went through a really difficult time a few years ago where some major things happened in my life, including losing a loved one, and it was sad, shed a lot of tears over it. I felt like a lot of things in my life were collapsing. At the same time, I had done so much inner work that I was happy underneath it all throughout the entire time, and I could endure these things, and I knew I was going to be okay. That was an extraordinary turn for me, and again, it wasn't as bad as a concentration camp. My life certainly has never been as bad as so many people who have it so much worse off, and it amazes me that a lot of times these people, or you can always find people who are still happy despite major problems in their life. So what I suggest is that how good you are, or if you're better off or not, or the same, has a lot more to do with your attitude, has a lot more to do with what's going on inside, rather than the economy or your job or how much money you make, or a lot of these things that we judge, or especially in political campaigns where they judge as better off than 4 years ago, or better off than 8 years ago. So I would suggest you do a little soul searching, and maybe you have to chunk this down a little bit and think about what areas of your life are better off or not as good, or if they're just the same. Like I said, the same is not good. If your life is worse off, or you feel like your life is worse off, or it's the same, and you take no action and you do nothing, you're pretty much guaranteed that the next 8 years of your life will be exactly the same. So taking action, being aware of this to begin with, and then taking action on it. We have Sid Jacobson coming in June to teach hypnosis. And hypnosis was a very important tool for me to evolve myself. And I read the book Transformation, the original that's now out of print. That is Ben Grinder, transcripts from Ben Grinder's hypnosis workshops that was published by Connie Ray Andreas. And I remember reading that to evolve yourself, hypnosis was a wonderful tool. And I took that to heart and spent a lot of time hypnotizing myself and getting people who I trusted to hypnotize me, and worked on some of this. And it really laid some tremendous groundwork and foundation for when I had some major troubles that came into my life a few years ago, and was able to remain happy. Check out our website, nlp-gym.com, for upcoming trainings. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook for all the updates, especially if you're in the area and you want to come to a practice session. Make sure that you're following us and staying tuned. Take care.